Hey everyone, in today's video I want to take a look at what things would have been like had Count Dooku remained a Jedi. Before we start though, I want your feedback. Do you prefer these fan fictions be spread out over 4 parts or kept to like 1 or 2 parts? Let me know in the comments below. Count Dooku's story foreshadows Anakin Skywalker, as he was once a gifted Jedi who became frustrated with the Jedi Order, and this frustration drove him to the Sith. Dooku's decision to leave the Order was a huge loss to the Jedi. Dooku would become instrumental in Palpatine's plan to instigate the Clone Wars, and it would be Dooku that nearly half of the Republic would rally behind as the Separatist movement. But what if Dooku never left the Jedi Order? What if instead he devoted his time and abilities to bettering the Jedi Order, to hunting down the Sith? Shortly after the death of his former apprentice Qui-Gon Jinn, Dooku would convince the Jedi Council that swift action must be taken against the Sith, who had clearly resurfaced after 1,000 years. The Council would commission Master Dooku with discovering whether or not Maul was the Master or the Apprentice. If Dooku remained with the Jedi Order, this would mean that he was also around for the discovery of the Chosen One, Anakin Skywalker. Being profoundly interested in Jedi prophecies, Dooku would request that he be the one to train Anakin. Given that Obi-Wan was freshly knighted and did not have the experience it would take to train a Padawan yet, the Council would agree with him. Dooku would become Anakin's master. Over the years, between Episode 1 and 2, Dooku would work to discover where Maul came from. This would lead him to Maul's home planet of Dathomir, where he would see and meet the mysterious Mother Talzin. And Talzin would explain that a powerful being called Sidious took the young Maul to raise him as an apprentice. As the events of Episode 2 approached, Dooku's investigation of the Sith would slow down. He would continue to have nothing but a name, Sidious. Meanwhile, Anakin would excel as a Jedi Padawan, even more so than he did as Obi-Wan's. Dooku would train Anakin to become an incredible swordsman, showing him unique aspects of the Force and much, much more. In many ways, Dooku was the best master that Anakin could have. The most important thing that Dooku would offer Anakin was the freedom to question the ways of the Jedi Order. Dooku would share with his Padawan his own frustrations and the importance of following the will of the Force so that they could bring about change to the Order. He would even help Anakin deal with his attachment to his mother, just as he had once dealt with his attachment to his sister Jenza. The biggest change to the timeline would be in regards to Palpatine's plan to ignite a galaxy-wide conflict. Originally, it was the charismatic ex-Jedi Dooku who would be the face of the Separatist movement. This movement would rally behind Dooku as the Clone Wars began. But without a suitable alternative, Palpatine would be forced to play both sides of the war more directly. Palpatine would lead the Republic as Chancellor, and directly lead the Separatist Council as Darth Sidious, much like he pulled the strings of the Trade Federation in Episode 1. The risk for Palpatine was that he would be bringing Sidious out of the shadows, just enough to deal with the Separatist Council, but this would be enough for Dooku to pick up the scent. Sidious would personally order the creation of the Clone Army. It would not be hard to convince the Kaminoans to do this, as they cared very little for what went on in the rest of the galaxy. Sidious would provide all of the funds needed by siphoning money from the Republic. Arrogant that nobody would discover his plot, Sidious would unknowingly be blind to the money trail he had just created. Meanwhile, Dooku would bring Anakin along on his hunt for Sidious's true identity. Both Jedi would be fueled by a desire to bring an end to the Sith once and for all. But slowly, Dooku, and by proxy his Padawan Anakin, would become consumed with a desire for revenge. Both had been devastated when Qui-Gon Jinn was killed by Maul. For different reasons, Qui-Gon represented hope for the two Jedi. For Anakin, Qui-Gon was the one who rescued him from slavery and gave him a future as a Jedi. And for Dooku, Qui-Gon was his greatest success, a reminder that the Jedi were meant to do good and follow the will of the Force. The clone army's later discovery would spark many questions as its origin was mysterious to the Jedi. The Clone Wars would begin much like they did, with Obi-Wan being captured on Geonosis and the Jedi moving to rescue him. This Battle of Geonosis would officially begin the war, just as it did in the original timeline. But while many Jedi began adopting the title General, Dooku and his Padawan would continue their refreshed search for Sidious. They would begin by revisiting the home planet of the clones, Kamino. Well, that's it for this video. I'll finish this story up in a second part. Let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see happen next. Will Dooku and Anakin find and defeat Sidious, or will the elusive Sith Lord carry out his plan to defeat the Jedi Order? I hope you have a great rest of your day, and may the Force be with you.